Hello, Rocket Punch family. This is Cameron here of Rocket Punch, of course, bringing you guys another new piece of content here. I'm hoping that really catches on, that I like and enjoy doing, and hopefully you guys enjoy watching here. Rocket Punch Gems here, where we just kind of show you some cool games that may have flown under the radar that I think you definitely need to check out. And this is going to be the first one in the series here. This game is Otherside. Now, I'll definitely admit, if this passed you by, I'm not going to blame you, because this game came out like the week that this video is releasing is the week it came out, but I didn't really hear about it. Ended up stumbling on it either on an ad or on Steam, and read the description, looked at the aesthetic, sounded like it was definitely something up my alley, especially if you're listening here, you probably hear the overtone music, very awesome, very gothic-like music in the background here. But this is a tactical RPG game, so akin to games like XCOM or Gears Tactics, where you're creating and playing as this army of daughters facing off against these like hideous Lovecraftian-esque creatures of darkness from taking over the world here, and you and these daughters are there to protect them here. But this game looks really cool. We're going to jump in here and see how much fun we can get into. So starting in here again, as like I said, this is a tactical RPG, but it's very unique and very different in that here.
Watch my friend.
What we're going to walk through here, I wanted to kind of show people a little bit of the intro area. This is where you're more or less taught how to play the game, of course. It's a tactical RPG like XCOM, Gears Tactics. If you've played those games before, at least the general sense will seem very similar to you. But what you'll notice is the timeline in the back, or in the bottom of the screen. That's the dynamic timeline system. It's kind of the key here into fighting and battling, as we'll kind of go through here. Really, your crux is, of course, you move in close, you use your abilities to damage and slash enemies, all that other great stuff there. But you'll kind of see as it talks about initiatives throughout the entire fight, your initiative will actually move based on the moves and abilities that you do, because you'll have abilities that will make you jump faster into the timeline queue, that'll push you further away in the timeline queue. And not only are you having to bounce around and kill these enemies, but you're really having to balance that timeline against enemies here in order to make sure you take the least amount of damage and succeed in fights here. It kind of, as we're seeing here, like delayed skills immediately in the unit's turn. We kind of saw that enemy was doing this huge, massive attack. But if, as the game is showing us here, if we use an ability called Shield Charge, we can jump right up to that, do some damage, and delay them from doing that, and interrupt their massive shot. That way, we don't have to worry about getting hit with that. And you'll kind of see here as we click the enemy, will do a little shield charge, boom, and then now you kind of see their move that was timed on the timeline down at the bottom of the screen, it's gone now, and kind of giving you a quick introduction on interrupt skills as well. But it was really cool to see this kind of depth, especially early on. It wasn't hard to learn or use. Everything was very clear when it's teaching you this, but these moves are very necessary. Like, learning this stuff is very necessary in order for you to succeed in this game and progress through this story. Kind of as we're seeing right now in the tutorial area, you're playing as the mother, who is kind of on her last legs here. As we just saw a vengeful strike there. If somebody comes in, I can counterattack to prevent damage from happening. And then now, we got these little tentacle-like creatures coming up against me. Oh, what am I going to do? Of course, they're going to show you a new move that you can do there.
I can stop the attack before.
Because definitely they would wreck our crap if they attacked us there. But now we can use Spear Tornado, which is kind of an AoE attack there. But the way you play with each character and the AP or ability points, and when you move, any action you do, those are points that you use to consume in order to move into actions. See, now we've killed those three and the other guy. Now those guys are gone and the other one's going to respawn. We'll have a little time in doing that here. But this is cool. I thought this was a really great tutorial to really get you into the game here, but let's actually now swing over to a different part of the game where we actually go through the first level and talk a little bit about like character creation and what happens. Now, this is the really interesting thing that I thought when I saw this game is like this game is not a hand-holded game. I haven't had a chance to dig very deep into it yet to get to these parts, but it tells you straight up, and I appreciate that this is about tough choices. You can't go back. There's no way, oh, I made a mistake, I'm going to jump back here with the way you create your units or anything like that. When you make choices, you are locked in.
On this side of the veil, I can give you my daughters.
Yeah, now this tutorial here is showing you how you actually create daughters. So, spoiler alert, I guess slightly, the mother ends up dying, but basically you use her memories and her blood to create these daughters, which are your units that you'll actually use in order to fight throughout the game. You'll create your daughters, and one interesting loop here as you guys are watching the kind of germinate daughter creation screen here, picking the class and whatnot, is that if your units die, if you fail like in a boss fight or something, there's a thing called like a resurrection or recursion, something like that. It'll show up on the main screen where you can actually you'll go back through the day, but then like your enemies or your units will reset. They'll still have the skills and stuff they've learned, but they'll reset, and it's very roguelike. It's like these roguelike elements that are in this tactical RPG, which is really interesting to me because I've never seen a game like that. It has it's a tactical RPG with roguelike elements there. So like it's very much like Fire Emblem. Like when your units die, they die, and if all your units die, guess what? You have to go back to the beginning of the days in order to start over and like continue beating these bosses again. Now you guys saw there, created a daughter. I created Belle, the shield bearer, since that was the one class missing. Then I'm going ahead and adding the other two, and here the Desire and then Providence, the Soul Slinger and Blade Master. Of course, your ranged and your melee DPS. And we're going to go into Synapse, is kind of the different stages that we have to go and like kill the enemies here. Of course, giving you a quick tutorial on flanking behavior here. But kind of bouncing through here, from what I've seen so far, this is basically the gameplay. You're going to go through here. It plays exactly like a tactical RPG, but you really have to... because of the roguelike elements, it really matters what you do and the moves you make in order to succeed or fail. And using that dynamic timeline system that you guys see at the bottom of the screen is very integral to do that. If you mess that up, if you just go all out and start just doing all these crazy attacks, you could get sideswiped by big attacks or a bunch of enemies at once on a unit. And then especially as the game progresses, if you've built up this unit, you've got all these skills, she's a complete badass. If she dies, she's gone. Like you can pay to try and resurrect them, but then you'll have to build them back up from level 1, or it could cost you the game, in which case if you were on like the second boss or the third boss or near the end, guess what? Now you're going back to start, and you're going to have to fight all those bosses again here. But no, this game was really, really cool. I love this game. You know, my first thought was like, oh, this looks pretty cool. Let me see if it's on Game Pass, because that's always the easy way now, right? But it wasn't on Game Pass, but I went ahead and spent the money on it. Loved every minute of this game. And I've only spent like maybe an hour in the game, to be really honest. But no, the game is from Lightbulb Crew. Those are the developers on here. You can find this on Steam, PlayStation, Xbox. I believe is also coming to Nintendo Switch later on this summer. For around, I actually ended up purchasing it for around $34.99. So I think well worth the price of admission if you're a big fan of tactical RPGs and roguelikes, and or either one of the two. I think this is an awesome game that you'll definitely enjoy. I love the aesthetic. The black and white motif with the red there is really cool. The music is really great. It's just a whole lot that I really loved about this game, and I'm very glad that this is the first game that I get to talk about here on Rocket Punch Gems for you guys. But guys, I'm gonna let this entire first match play out so you guys can get an idea of what the gameplay and stuff is like. So please enjoy the rest of this video, and thank you so much for tuning into the first episode of Rocket Punch Gems. Please let me know in the comments what you think about this. Are you liking this type of video? You like seeing these kind of hidden gems that people aren't talking about as much that are really good games? If you have any thoughts or ideas on how to improve the video, or even ideas on games that we should cover for Rocket Punch Gems, again, please let me know in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe here on youtube.com/rocketpunchgo. And as always, for all the videos, streams, and podcasts we do, always want to go to rocketpunchgo.com to check out that content. Well, that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of the video. We'll see you next time.
plague the innocent. The veil grows weaker, his power stronger.
You can't stop progress. The cure will be found.
They worship torture and call it science. Foolish, my fears. My brave daughter is spent. She must rest till a new day. Come what may, we will slow suffering's progress.